I'm going to talk about how to play lifted staccato bow strokes. Up to now we've talked about playing staccato on the string, for example playing two hooked staccato notes like this, or three hooked staccato. And in these techniques we're leaving the bow on the string in between the notes, just letting the bow rest lightly on the string after each staccato note. When you play lifted staccato, the bow actually comes away from the string and it gives a slightly different effect. It tends to be done on up bows rather than down bows. You can do it on a down bow, but it's much more useful technique on up bows, because what we tend to do is we tend to use the technique as well as to make a nice light bow stroke. We also use the technique to move our bow to the heel so that we're ready to play maybe an accented note or a long note. So if I was to play a long note followed by a short staccato note followed by another long note, using a separate bow stroke on each of these notes, you can see that if I leave the bow on the string, I run out of bow for the final long note, something like this. So you can see that I didn't have enough bow for the last note. So rather than leaving the bow on the string at the end of the staccato note, I would lift it off the string like this. Doing at the end of the staccato note, I just let the momentum of my arm carry on moving the bow so that I go all the way to the heel. So I play the short staccato note and then I just lift the bow slightly off the string, carry on moving my arm, and then land the bow back down at the heel. So it's just a continuation of the bow stroke movement, of the up bow stroke movement, but with the bow just slightly above the string so that the string isn't sounding. So I'll just show you again. Now I feel that movement very much from my shoulder, so think about just pushing your shoulder to the heel. So it's a swinging movement almost coming from behind your shoulder, almost from your back. So it's just that up bow movement, just continuation of that up bow movement. So if I demonstrate the exercise on page 62, which is a staccato crotchet followed by a minim, starting around the middle, just above the middle of the bow, I'll just demonstrate that exercise. It's in 3/4 time, so I'll count you in. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And on the D string. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So you can hear that creates a little jump in the music. It makes the staccato notes sound nice and light. So it's a nice technique to use from a musical point of view, and also very useful for moving the bow further down towards the heel, so we've got plenty of bow to use for a longer note, or so that we can play a nice accented heavy note at the heel. So there's lots of reasons for using lifted up bow staccato. One of the things to look out for when you're playing this technique is making sure that you're not tensing up your hand when the bow is off the string. So when we lift the bow above the string, we're supporting the maximum weight in our hand. So this is the heaviest the bow will ever feel, is when the bow is away from the string, we're supporting all its weight in our right hand. So this is the time when people are most likely to tense their right hand up. What will often happen is people will press down with their little finger, or the little finger will go straight, and then the knuckle will go up. If I can do that, so I'll see that kind of thing quite often, where people's little finger has gone down, the knuckle's gone up, the thumb maybe goes straight, or the thumb gets very tense. So what can happen is that people lift the bow off the string, the hand goes into a sort of into a very tense shape, and then the landing isn't very well controlled because your hand's too tense and there's no flexibility left in your fingers. So it's really important when you land the bow on the string that your fingers are still relaxed and flexible. And a good way of practicing this is to slow this movement down. So if you play the up bow staccato, move the bow to the heel, and then just land the bow on the string and don't move the bow. Now with the bow on the string at the heel, just make sure that your hand is completely relaxed, that your little fingers are loose, make sure you can sort of flex your fingers, make sure your thumb's bent. You shouldn't be gripping the bow, and you shouldn't have a straight little finger, your little fingers should be nice and relaxed. And once you've got your hand loose, then play the long note. So just do that again. I'm going to lift the bow, land, make sure my hand's relaxed, and then play the long note. check and relaxed, play the long note. So watch out for tension in your hand when you're lifting the bow off the string. Try and keep the hand just nice and loose, just use the minimum amount of effort you need to balance the bow and no more than that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.